All right. Welcome everyone to our Mastering AI Agents event in partnership with HubSpot and the Community Collective. Yeah, round of applause. Give us some fire emojis in butter if you've been here before. We are so excited to host you for today's panel. We have pulled in an incredible lineup. Many friends have introduced us to these speakers, which is very cool. Of course, we've got Rory here from HubSpot, Nick from IBM, Alex from Relevance AI, Zach from TinyNet AI, who's tuning in from Palm Springs. Actually, over there, it's Thanksgiving this week in America very soon. But that's not the point of today. Today is all about learning and understanding and just educating ourselves and having a candid conversation about how to use AI agents. We're seeing them everywhere. There's confusion. There are experts in the room. So wherever you are, you're in the right place. And I'm just so excited to be your host for today. And today I am tuning in from the land of the Wadawurrung people, and I would like to acknowledge them as the traditional owners of the land. This is a ritual that we have at the start of every live session to acknowledge those that came before us, the OG community builders of this country. This is actually a video that my brother took of the beach opposite my house in Torquay. So this is original land. And I'd love to hear, where are you all tuning in from? Please post in the chat right now, which city are you tuning in from, to basically understand exactly where we're gathering. I know we've got people from Singapore, America, Australia, people across Sydney, Nigeria, and of course, make sure you're on mute so we have the best virtual experience no matter where you are today. Oh, Brisbane, how cool. Hey, someone else is in New York. Very cool. New Zealand. Well, I know that not many of you are actually in butter, but we actually are in the tech platform that is called Butter. And so I need to make sure that everyone knows this buttery land to ensure that we've got a fantastic live session happening here. So have you used Butter before? Please just stamp on this map. You'll be on the right if you've used Butter. If everyone's used Butter, I'll just speed through this and we don't need to understand. Okay, we've got a lot of people who are like, what is this tech platform? Where am I? All right, if this is the first time you're using Butter, quick lay of the land. Basically, it is an interactive tool. It is the tool of a head of community, Butter, Anna Maria, who was our cohort #1 speaker. But basically, everyone, please go into the reactions and click the number 6 hallelujah emoji. You're going to use this when Zach says something amazing and you agree. You're going to use the fire emoji when Alex just shares some really cool agent examples. And you're going to use the brain emoji when just Nick blows your mind. Okay, so you are all here as participants, and you all have one very important role today. This is not a passive session. Just know that right now. Oh, Pablo's here from Japan. How cool. So if you all jump into the queue and you have a question today, you all get to ask one question to our panelists. You can do that live by jumping in the queue and click I have a question, or of course you can post it in the chat and I will ask the question on your behalf. So everyone knows Butter. Give me a big thumbs up in Butter, basically, if you are feeling like you're confident and we can move on. All right, let's roll on. Let's roll on. So basically today, we are very excited to run this event. And I have a question to ask. Is this anyone's first event with the Community Collective? We're here in partnership with HubSpot, but is this anyone's first event? You can add a thumbs up if this is your first event. All right, maybe a lot of people haven't heard of this orange land that we're in. Well, the Community Collective started as a meetup for 17 people in Melbourne in 2021. We wanted to help people who were building communities online, in person, running programs. And of course, after that, what we didn't realize is that we would go viral. We had hundreds of people signing up through this Airtable registration link all over the world. And we quickly had hundreds of community builders catching up every month for a free meetup. Eventually, I quit my job. I had over 700 people in this community and they were emailing me asking for community building support. And today we've been running as a business for 3 years and have over 17,500 people in our audience and 700 in our private communities. And today we exist to train companies, how do you build a community? Because that is the new currency in our land. So wherever you are, we have ambassadors across all major cities who catch up in person and online, like sessions like today. And today would not be made possible without our fabulous orange dream partner, HubSpot, like match made in heaven, right? And HubSpot, has anyone been using HubSpot? Give me a thumbs up, reaction butter if you use HubSpot, because if you don't, mate, you're going to learn a lot because HubSpot is actually here today. We've got our some people from their team, which is exciting. But it's an incredible platform and a CRM. You can use it for sales, customer service, content management, operations, commerce, marketing. I know a lot of community builders that use HubSpot even just as their CRM to keep track of newsletters and EDMs and members and contacts. And really, we have their HubSpot for Startups program. And we've partnered with HubSpot because we have been working hard to create a really cool AI gift for you. So there's a lot of tech stack out there. Some of them can be a bit pricey, but we wanted to give you all a free AI tech stack gift pack. So you get access to like the Claude paid plan. You get a month free Lovable if anyone's vibe coding over there. So we just wanted to give you a gift and bring this event to life to actually just understand what's happening in the world of AI, how can we all use it, and how can we learn about that? Because you might not know actually that you've been using AI agents. You know, we had over 150 people register for this live session today. We had 150 questions submitted, and a lot of people were just saying, what is an AI agent? You know, you might be building AI agents, but if you're not, I just want to give you a quick rundown because we're going to play a quick game. So go into the reactions, add a thumbs up if you use Google Maps. Anyone use Google Maps? Add a thumbs up in the reaction. All right, well, Google Maps is a tech tool, but Google Maps uses AI agents to basically understand the new route that you're going to take. If you missed a turn, it's going to make that decision for you to get you to where you're going to go faster. Maybe anyone uses Spotify. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you use Spotify. Yeah, I love this tech tool. Spotify is a tech tool itself, but they use agents to basically curate your listening experience. So every like and add of a song, it will then give you a different radio and prediction for what you should be listening to. The old LinkedIn, bit of a trap, isn't it? Add a thumbs up if you use this tech tool. Well, LinkedIn obviously uses AI agents as well to curate your feed, whatever you're commenting on, reposting. Maybe you saw this event through LinkedIn. They use agents within their platform. And Siri, I recently got the orange iPhone 17 1020X BPZ. Who knows what we're up to these days? And literally, I have Siri on my phone. That is an agent itself. My phone's in Spanish, so I speak to Siri in Spanish, and we have a conversation. It will make decisions. It will call people. It will set up calendar invites. So agents are actually already in a lot of our lives, but they're really building in prominence. So today we want to really demystify a lot of the confusions and challenges that you have and understand how we can all use them together. So we're going to run through a check-in. We'll jump into our panel discussion, and then we'll have a live demo of what an AI agent can look like and how to set that up with Rory. Then we'll have plenty of time for audience Q&A. We'll have an integration break. We've got more gifts because we just love gift giving. And then we'll wrap up with a dance party. But wait, oh my God, before we get a group photo, we've got prizes today. So anyone that jumps up on the live stage and jumps in the queue and asks our fabulous panelists a question, we're going to be posting you a digital audio book from Derek Sivers as a digital gift. So wherever you are, yes, we'll be Oprah, like Meher, giving you all a prize for anyone who asks a question live for today. All right, gang, we've got a very important check-in to do to make sure that we all connect as humans before speaking about the robots. Now, I'd like to ask you, how well-versed in agents are you? You know, everyone's stamping on this map. Are you building AI agents? I was just chatting to Alex, and she was literally building an AI agent last night. So cool. Have you never used AI agents before? Maybe you're on the far right. I hope our panelists are on the right side. Okay, cool. We've got a bit of a spread. A lot of people have never used AI agents before or, you know, are really new to that world. Couple people who are using it weekly, got a few. Oh, Isaac is building agents. Rory, yeah, love that. Okay, a lot of our panelists are all Alistair. Maybe we'll get Alistair up here to run this panel today. Pablo, very cool in Japan. All right, so a lot of people are understanding the agents. All right, that's pretty cool. Well, the last question I have for you is, what do you find confusing about AI agents? What are you finding confusing? You know, we really want to make sure that this conversation is tailored for you. So what are you finding confusing, challenging, frustrating, anything that you are finding that does not make sense in the world of AI agents? We would love to hear it in this poll. And basically anything that you're just kind of like, I'm just stuck on this, right? Like, and not understanding that world, because really we want to make sure we kind of dive into those challenges and confusions and just basically have a candid conversation about that. So we're all going to take 30 seconds, jump into the poll on the left, make sure you reply to the question, share anything that you find confusing, and then we'll debrief in just a moment.
Well, I tumble out of bed and stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, yawning, stretching, trying to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets, the traffic starts jumping with folk like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Barely get to by. It's all taking and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you.
All right, there's enough of Dolly Parton. How good. We've got lots of elements here around keeping sensitive data confidential, different integrations, common use cases of AI agent, just like where to start, 100%. How to differentiate AI agents between GPTs and workflows. Yeah, it all gets a bit messy, doesn't it? We're talking about agentic workflows and non-agentic workflows. The process of building the first iteration and connecting between different systems. 100%. I mean, everyone, this is literally what we're here to chat about today. And as we kind of go into our panel conversation, I get to introduce you to all of our fabulous guests and speakers here, which you're all going to give a huge fire emoji when I introduce all of them. But really, there's so many elements here about like reliability, testing. How do you know what tech tools to actually trust? Data scrubbing. Okay, very specific. How to communicate the return on investment to building and using AI as an agent solution. All right, gang, that's very cool. Thanks for checking in with me. Always a pleasure. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing you to our fabulous panelists today. Now, we've got Zach here, who is back for a second time at the Community Collective event. He's tuning in from Palm Springs, usually in New York, but it's Thanksgiving over there in America very soon. And we actually met in San Francisco at CMX Summit. We hung out in London at London Community Week. And Zach has basically been building AI agents and in the world of AI tech and community for some good time now. He was previously at Salesforce and then also spent a decade launching different types of customer community platforms there. So now he actually is the CEO of TightKnit, his own company, which is the first platform that transformed Slack into an all-in-one community platform. We use it at the Community Collective. It's super cool. Zach, are you just pumped for today? And is there anything you find confusing about AI agents?
I mean, I think everyone hits a wall pretty quickly, no matter what level. But yeah, super excited to be here today. And thank you, Paz, for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. I love that. We were originally going to have this event later, but we didn't want to schedule it on Thanksgiving. So we're here live, and we've got Alex here from Sydney, who's also from Relevance AI. She's the founding senior technical support specialist there, which is very cool. And Relevance AI is helping build AI agent teams that deliver very high quality work. There's no code needed. It's basically just very easy to use. Alex is pretty cool. I mean, she's scaled lots of different support teams using AI and also has led teams for AI different products and AI agents. And she's basically been using agents as well to manage the community at Relevance AI. And Alex, is there anything you're finding confusing about AI agents at the moment?
Oh man, I feel like once you get over a hurdle of you found this thing about AI confusing, there's something else that comes into the realm and you're like, oh, that's now confusing as well. And so I think it's every day there's something, I will learn something and then I'll have questions about something else. And then it's like the constant journey of learning and growing. So yes, constantly confused, but also constantly learning. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, sometimes I feel really smart, like hanging out with perhaps like my parents who are just like agents, like I'm just like not across that. And then sometimes I feel so dumb then hanging out with people who are like building agents. I'm like, I know nothing. It's like such a spectrum, right? Well, good thing we've got Nick here because Nick is tuning in from the Green Room over in Sydney, New South Wales, which is very cool. I'm super pumped to have Nick here because he is the head of AI developer advocacy at IBM. And Nick has been building machine learning models for many different Fortune 500 companies. He's also founded an edtech startup. And of course, with all the spare time he has, he's built a following of over 300,000 AI engineers and data scientists over on YouTube and teaches a lot of people around just the first steps of like the field of AI. So Nick, I'm super pumped to have you here today. Is there anything you're finding confusing in the world of like AI agents?
Yeah, I saw somebody mention, or I think that one of the top ones is keeping sensitive user data confidential. But the other one that I really liked is like, when does it make sense to use it as a business? Because like it needs to have some degree of ROI as well, right? So I'm really big on that. I think that those are some really interesting topics, which I think I got some answers to, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. The audience will be the judge of that. Very cool. Yeah, no, it's like, how do you actually get the business case? So, like, why should we be using agents? And if we're in a company and not running our own business, then those decisions are really key, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's jump in. I mean, Nick, like, this first question's for you. You know, a lot of people in the registration asked just like, what are AI agents? Can you just explain in the most like kind of basic terms what is an AI agent, just to make sure we're all on the same page?
Yeah, I guess I'm interested to hear what people think agents are in the chat as well. So I'll give you guys like 10 seconds. Write down what you think an agent is in the chat. And then I'll give you like my literal like 2-sentence answer, which I think like clarifies it an absolute ton.
I love that. I love that.
I can see people typing. I love that. Just the cricket. Yeah, there's no answers.
Butter will just give you some crickets while everyone's thinking.
Alistair might have seen my presentation before. An automation that requires a repetitive task, a bot with automatic responses. Yep, sure. Okay, do we have any more?
So several users are
Alistair
typing.
might have given it away. So an agent is really nothing but LLMs plus tools, right? So you've all probably had a chat to ChatGPT before or Claude before. And what you're doing is you're typically typing in a prompt. That prompt goes to a deep learning model called a large language model, and you get a response, right? No biggie. That's a straightforward tap. The biggest difference between a straight LLM, LLM stands for large language model. It's just basically a fancy machine learning model, which is able to predict tokens or next text. They're great at writing code, building a bunch of other stuff. Okay, the only difference between an LLM and an agent is that we give an LLM access to tools. That means they can go and send emails, they can go and call APIs, they can write stuff to your database, they can interact with Slack or HubSpot, and we're able to take the observations from that tool and pass it back to our large language model and then interpret whether or not we've gone and done something. Now, the foundation, what allows us to do this is a specific type of prompting called react prompting. It stands for reasoning and action. So when we give our LLM a prompt, we might say, hey, I want you to send me an email. Well, that LLM needs to go and reason and work out which tools it should call to send an email. Once it's reasoned how to actually go and send that email, it's able to then act. That's the act in React. Take an action and actually send that email. And then once we've got our email sent, we might get an observation to say, hey, the email's been sent. That goes back to the LLM, and the LLM's like, oh, the email's been sent. I'm all done now. I can tell the user. That's really all it is. So if you just remember an LLM or an agent is LLM plus tools, you're going to go really far.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And we've got a question here, like, what is an LLM? How would you explain that, Nick, as well in basic terminology?
Yeah, right. So we've got so underpinning all of this is just a mathematical model, right? So that's all AI really is at the end of the day. And we train these to be able to accomplish specific tasks. So a large language model has just been trained on a ton of text, right? Underpinning a large language model is a specific type of mathematical model called a transformer. So basically, we've trained these models to be able to take in a sentence and predict the next word in a sentence. There's a bunch of extra fancy stuff that makes them perform better, but at its crux, they're really just good at predicting the next word or the next token in a sentence. But yeah, we do this extra fine tuning to get them to be able to do really specific things like write code, work with tools, summarize stuff, classify stuff. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Amazing, amazing. So an AI agent, we've got the large language model where we've trained all the data and all the information, the transformers. And then the AI agent is when you combine that with tools. It's helping us make decisions, actions. I mean, I was chatting with Rory yesterday and it was like the agent started telling Rory what to do of like when the human input should come in. I was like, whoa, the robots are delegating to us, right? You know, so I think that's like such a great framing. And we're all here to also understand like, why is this relevant to me? Like, why should I care? So Alex, like, can we talk about the opportunity? Like, why should we care about AI agents and like what benefits can we experience if we, spend time learning about how to use these tools?
Yeah, I mean, God, that's such a wide question. So I guess I'll start with saying, I run the support team here at Relevance AI and I run the community, and I'm a team of 3 people right now. And if I didn't have AI agents, my team would probably be 10, 20 people. And because we have AI agents and we see them as members of our team, we can scale quite leanly, keep the team lean, and also spend a lot of time building agents ourselves. So the opportunity here is that we can keep our teams lean, but we can also empower our teams to work across multiple different fields as well and use AI in lots of different capabilities. For example, I have one of my team members, she's doing a lot of work in the vibe coding arena and building agents to help her out on that lens. I've got another team member that's building phone AI agents that can call our customers and help them over the phone. So there's lots of opportunity here to not just do the work that we've been doing as a support team typically, which is just tickets over and over. But now we've got AI agents that in the background can do tickets either automatically or via a co-pilot, which is what I will challenge a lot of people in the chat. There was a lot of people going, an AI agent is someone that does something automatically in the background. And right now, I don't think that's true for a lot of use cases. A lot of AI agents are actually co-pilots that you use as tools that will get you 90% of the way for a task, and then you then review and help for the last 10%. So while that AI agent may not have done that thing automatically, it still did a really, really fantastic job. You just had to fill in the gaps for the last 10%. So it means that the work that we can get done is just off the charts now, because we've got AI agents doing, 70 to 100% of a task. And then for the ones that we consider co-pilots, we just jump in, help manage and take over and just help them out. I mean, you mentioned that I was building an agent last night, and that was an example of a co-pilot use case of it built an amazing post that I'm going to post in my community every week. And it created images from scratch. It did research from scratch. It then prepared a post from scratch. And all I need to do is come in and be like, I just want to change X, Y, Z, done, send. And that's what it did for me. So there's an opportunity to really take your processes in your business and go, what can I actually turn into an agent here and speed up time in my day? Even if it's not going to do it automatically in the background, how can I build an agent that's going to get me 70 to 90% of the way?
Yeah, I love that. I love thinking in analogies as well. And I mean, that's such a great example. You're like, if I didn't have agents, my team would be at least triple. You're thinking headcount, resourcing, money, there are so many benefits in that. I personally have been using AI agents in the Community Collective to welcome all our members in Slack, right? We have 118 people in our last cohort. They all join in the same week, flooding Slack and trying to welcome every single one of them. We have 6 mentors who'll help actually write the web messages, but the agent is reading everyone's profiles and going, oh, I think Sally should connect with Danielle because they're both in Thailand at the moment and they both have a similar community. And we go, yeah, that's verified. Great. That's awesome. Then our mentor, we go, hey, and connect them. So you're just wow, imagine if Batman didn't have his sidekick Robin, or chefs didn't have sous chefs to prepare everything, right? A stronger with the help. So, I mean, the opportunity can be clear, and I think there's so much hype around it as the tech advances as well. But can we just get into some examples so we're all really grounded as humans, how we're using this as founders and community builders? Zach, how are you using AI agents? Can you share some practical kind of case studies?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I I'm sure Nick, Alex, and I are probably a little bit more deep in this world. So to actually pull ourselves out and say, okay, how would you start to use agents? You've probably heard another acronym, MCP, a lot. And I would say that's a really popular space now. So a lot of the tools you're starting to work with, including Slack, now has an MCP. And so what I usually recommend people do is if you're trying to start to connect different agents to, your ChatGPT or Claude or whatever your, personal memory-based LLM is, you can take these MCPs, this kind of context.
What's an MCP? How would you define that?
Yeah, Model Context Protocol, which honestly doesn't. I wouldn't say the name explains at all what you're experiencing. If you've heard of an API before, think of this as how agents interact with tools. So what Nick was talking about with tools, a lot of these MCPs are built around this concept of taking the products that you enjoy and making them into a tool. And so I've been playing around a lot with Gamma recently. So customer of ours, Gamma, they launched a new API, and I was like, okay, what could I do I'm using them personally and in our product. I know they're using our product. I was like, maybe I can find a way to bridge it even closer. And so I was playing around with both their API and some of the stuff they're doing on that to kind of create this agent that helps me make decks faster for our customers. And so I would say, yeah, that's choose your favorite tools that you work with today. I don't usually recommend people start from scratch. Choose an operation that you're doing on a daily basis and go find a way to integrate it to kind of your existing stack.
Yeah, I definitely love that. It's kind of like, let's start with the tools we're already using, and do they have like agent features, right? Like we use disco.co, and then they have a co-pilot agent that we can like easily train on all the data. So it's like a nice quick win. And Nick, how are you using AI agents? Like what kind of comes up for you in your day-to-day?
Yeah, I mean, great question. I think like one of the really interesting things is like when we started out with RAG, so retrieval augmented generation is arguably the most popular thing when it comes to using LLMs. Like everyone's got a ton of documents, like marketing materials, standard operating procedures. And we started out just talking to those documents directly, but now we've sort of progressed over to agentic RAG. So I think that's what I'm spending the majority of my time with. Like I love reading about like startups and what's happening in like funding rounds and like the tech community and like stocks and stuff. So I actually tend to build a lot of agents that can interact with like the Yahoo Finance API, the Crunchbase server. So typically financy stuff is what I'm interested in. That being said, there's so much stuff coming out when it comes to AI, right? Like there's a new protocol or a new LLM coming out like every single week. So I actually plugged in an LLM into the Archive MCP tool. It's basically like a big page where everybody publishes their state-of-the-art research. So I actually get my agents to just go and read it and summarize it for me, because there ain't no way in hell that I'm actually going and reading most research papers. So yeah, I think that definitely helps.
Every time we speak about agents, I just picture like all of you just with these like thousands of robots, and you're just like, just like, agent. Yeah, it's like full matrix.
Yeah.
Someone definitely put the GIF in the chat of like that matrix numbers element. Like that's all I'm seeing right now, especially with the green screen and the black. It's perfect. But I love that, Nick. It's kind of looking at where we've come from and where we're going, and it can be so hard to talk about all these, like throw 1,000 three-letter acronym around. Like definitely speakers, if you use an acronym, explain what it is so we're all like following. Because I think, Alex, there are a lot of people who are community builders on this call. Like how are you using agents in community building specifically?
Yeah, for sure. I can talk about that. So we use Circle for our community here at Relevance AI. So we do support through the community, because we're a SaaS product. We like to have peer-to-peer support there. We do live sessions in the community. We create content about our agents there, that kind of thing. And so we've built agents that, for example, act as a support agent in the community. So there's one, his name is Carl. We have a big thing at Relevance where we have a lot of 8-bit branding. It's all the kind of like gamified branding. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see exactly what I mean. So all of our agents have a name. So we've got Carl, the community agent. And so Carl's job is every 8 hours, he'll go through the community and look through our space for questions, and he'll see which ones have been answered in over 24 hours. We want to encourage our community members to come in and help each other out and answer questions. But after 24 hours, we do want them to have a response. So Carl will go in, find the questions that haven't been answered after 24 hours, search our documentation, search the web, even search through our code base on our platform, to then take all of that information, do that research, and send off a reply to that customer, that person in our community, and say, hey, my name's Carl, I'm an AI agent. Here is my answer to the question. It may not be 100% correct, but that's an example of an automatic agent that's just running in the background, answering questions, helping out our team in the community. The one I built last night is we had an issue where we were posting the same thing in 2 different places. So we were posting about new releases on our platform in a changelog on our website run by our marketing team, but we also wanted to post it in the community. We didn't want to spam the community because our platform, we're releasing new things every single day. So I built an agent last night that every week on a Tuesday morning, it'll go through our changelog and find everything that we added to the platform in the last week, get all that information, then go to our community and go, right, what events are coming up this week that we're going to be going live in the community or going and having an in-person event somewhere in the world. Take that information, then see what's going on around Australia at the moment. So what's going on right now in Australia? We just had the Ashes. So this agent will take all of that, create a post that's themed about what's going on in Australia, because we're a very proud company here in Australia. And then also create an image with our branding using the Gemini Nano Banana model. Take that image and then draft up a post and say, hey, this is like the weekly update in the community. And I go, okay, cool, make this change, make that change, boom, send off. And so therefore my agent will then do basically all the work by itself, send it off, and create content for the community as well. So there's lots of different things that you can do in terms of community AI agent building. But yeah, that's just
I love this, Carl. I mean, I love the names, right? Like, but how did you build Carl? Like, are you like sitting there coding? Are you on Lovable? Is it just like something from Circle? Is it expensive?
Yeah,
how do we get a Carl?
So relevance AI, really. So our whole platform is that it's all just text. So when you build agents, you're not coding. You're not doing like, you know, for this, then do this. If not, do this. You're actually just writing things out. And so the way we see it, it's like you're writing a job description. So, or a standard operating procedure, an SOP, another 3-letter acronym. There you go. But we see it as like a job description. So you just go, this is your role. This is who you are. So let's say Carl, the community agent. He's actually modeled after one of my friends, Carl. And so I've got an image of him or 8-bit there. So we go, Carl, the community agent. And then I go, these are the tools you have access to. So again, like Nick said, it's an LLM and it's tools. So I go, this is the tool that helps you go search our documentation. This is the tool that has you go search our code base, which is a bit more of a complicated tool. This is a tool that allows you to post a comment on Circle. And this is the workflow you will do. So I'll be like, you'll be triggered every 8 hours on our platform. When that happens, you go do this, do that, do the research you need using the tools. We don't tell it how to research. It's like you wouldn't tell a human being, like, this is how you search this up or that up. Like you should know how to research, you should know how to Google search.
Micromanaging.
Exactly. So you don't have to do that. It's just like you go, okay, well, you have this tool to search our documentation. I'm assuming you know how to search documentation, right? And so that's how it's built. I'm happy to share a screenshot of one of my prompts for my agent so you can take a look. But yeah, it's all just text.
I love that. Yeah, if you could screenshot that and you can upload a file into the Butter chat, if you're happy sharing that would be awesome, Alex. And, you know, I think
that I created last night as well.
Yes, very cool, very cool. And I think, you know, a lot of us are kind of have concerns and confusion around agents. And it's all well and good to be like, great, Carl's in our community. We've got lots of people doing things. But let's just talk about like the ethics and the boundaries, you know, like what are we doing with like, yeah, Nick's like, yeah, all right, Nick, like, let's start with you on this. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Like, one of the major concerns was how do we keep sensitive user data confidential? What kind of best practices do we really need to think about here, Nick?
Yeah, I saw someone just comment guardrails immediately as you asked that question in the chat. But yeah, guardrails are really, really important. I mean, I think before you even get to that, education is such a critical thing when it comes to people working with LLM. So like one of the things that we do whenever we go and roll out agents to our clients is we tell them to say, hey, this is actually powered by AI. You're not speaking to a human here, so just be really, really aware. And we're kind of adopting that mentality out there in the community that, hey, if I'm talking to AI, maybe stuff isn't going to be perfect. I need to be a little bit more mindful with what I'm doing with it. Can't just throw in my bank details because who knows where it's going. So I think education is a really, really important one. The second one is guardrails, right? When we go and build agents, there's a lot of capabilities that we can go and use to go on ahead and build agents, right? And it can be really easy to quickly just go and smack one together. I think it's really important, though, to have a think about what a user is going to be using that agent for. So is it okay for them to put their banking details in? Is it okay for them to put their name in? What about their address? Now, certain components of those you're going to need to capture in order to accomplish a particular task. Like, let's say I want to get some information about my order. Well, then I might need to pass through my email address. Now, it's okay, right? Like, we don't need to be completely afraid of LLMs and agents because like they are useful tools, but we just need to think about what exactly is it that you need. So let's say you want to go and retrieve your order status. Well, you need to plug in your email and your order number. You have to have a think about where that data is going to go. So if I'm sending that data outside of the country, is that okay based on my data sovereignty rules? So let's say I've got banking data that shouldn't be leaving Australia if I'm an Australian-based company, unless it absolutely has to, and you've got approval, you've thought it through. one of the really easy ways to think about this is if you're building an agent and you don't need any personally identifiable information, you can actually just plug in a guardrail and go strip all of this out, redact it before it even goes to any API. So that's a really simple one, right? When it comes to which information you should be protecting. Another guardrail that you might go and apply is a HAP filter. So it's a hate, abuse, and profanity filter. And you can actually configure all of these to be really strict or a little bit less loose, like a bit of an Aussie at the pub or me on a Friday night. Yeah. So you can actually go and configure these, right? So you don't need to be completely afraid. I think it's just really important to have a think about what you're trying to achieve and what information you absolutely need. So don't grab everything. It's exactly like when you're building apps. It's like, oh, I need every single piece of information, so I better store this inside of my database. No, think about it the exact same way that we've been really efficient building applications before. What's the least amount of information I need to accomplish this? How am I going to store it or send it securely? And if there's stuff that I'm being passed that I don't need, can I redact that?
Yeah, I love that. I think like a good rule of thumb that we use at the Community Collective is like less is more. You know, especially in like data collection, and then even when AI agents, it's like, I'm not going to collect all the thousands of details from my members. And I'm also not going to give thousands of details like when using AI agents or training co-pilots.
Yeah,
for that.
100%.
We also, we published a white paper of like safe by design, like dealing with data and privacy as well. We'll put that link in the chat if anyone wants to go and read on like privacy in communities. It's not specifically with agents, but a lot of what Nick has just said is like great, like best practices. And Zach, like you're in this world, right? Like what should we avoid doing when using agents? Like what are some of the massive red flags that we're like, oh my God, when thinking about like data and privacy and ethics?
Jumping off mute so you can hear. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of folks in the room are community builders. And I think we have a very unique space in the world in that if you start to like think about as time goes on, what are the jobs that we are all going to have in the future? And I'm a bit of an optimist and a realist. There are going to be a lot of jobs that get replaced by teams like Alex building great tools that build relevance AI to replace jobs that may not have been needed anymore, but there are also going to be many jobs that get created. And I think when we think about the ethics of AI, like Nick was mentioning, you want to be able to build authenticity, trust, and I personally don't believe there's even an AGI that's going to be able to do that on its first go. It will take years after that there will still always be this element of being human that we admire and appreciate. And so understanding what's a transactional experience, something where I need to solve my problem now, I need to get a question answered, I'm calling my telecom and I'm just trying to get my internet fixed, right? I don't care if I'm speaking to a human, but if I'm trying to like talk about a lived experience, if I'm trying to create a community where it's not just about like solving problems, but it's about connecting with each other, like what you have built has, you know, there is an element of all of us in this room here are connecting with each other because we are deeply human. And I think like, you know, this is obviously not about agents, but it is about the context of when you should know to build an agent and when you should know not to build an agent. And I think a lot of the folks in this room have a big opportunity ahead because you work in what I call the human industry. And, you know, there's something that is interesting that's happened. AI is this joke, right? We say it, it's the most used word of any conversation we have. The second most used word is human. So the fact that that has become part of the equation, I would just say, tying it all back of like what Nick's saying and ethics and what Alex is doing on optimization, we're going to meet in the middle there and find a way where we actually can build new careers around it.
Yes. I mean, you know, no one wants to join a community or a Slack channel that's just like all AI agents chatting to each other for more engagement. Oh my God, I need to make sure there's more activity and content. It's like, why do we need to mass produce like beige experiences, like just because we can? You know, it's not the technology that's good or bad. It's like the reason why you use it. So I love that kind of advice and reminder, Zach. And, you know, we're edging to the time here where we've got to move into a demo very, very soon, but we'll have heaps of time for audience Q&A to kind of dig deeper into that. Before we go into our demo, and, you know, we really wanted to show everyone here, like, how do you set up an agent? Like, let's just please just like walk through that. So we're going to get a demo very soon. But before we get the demo and go into audience Q&A, I just want to hear like our piece of advice. Like Nick, then Alex and Zach, I want to hear from all three of you. Like if you just have one piece of advice for everyone here to like not screw up and like sell all their data and like build the wrong things, and we actually want to seize the opportunity of using agents, like what's the one piece of advice we need to remember like right now? Like Nick, what's words of wisdom? Tell me.
I think I don't know if I'm going to be a little contra here, but like I think the answer is like not everything needs to be an agent, right? If you've already got really structured processes and you know what you need to do to accomplish a specific process, trust that, right? Because there's additional costs in testing and governance involved when it comes to building an agent. So even though there's a ton of hype around it, don't feel the pressure to convert every single thing into an agent. They're great for specific use cases.
Love it. Love it. Alex, tough act to follow.
Yeah, no, good one to lead on to. I think that I'll just continue what I've said before about autopilots versus co-pilots. I think a lot of people see AI and ask AI to do something and it doesn't one-shot it, and then they're immediately like, AI sucks, I'm never using it again. And if you treat an employee like that if you gave it a task and it immediately didn't do exactly what you wanted and then you fired it immediately, you'd be a bad manager, right? So see AI as one of your employees, especially AI agents, and be happy when you have to guide it a little bit along the way, and be happy to use co-pilots instead. I mean, that also means that you keep your job, because right now co-pilots mean you're running the agents, you're managing them, you're evaluating them, you're building them yourself, you're still employable, right? And so just use co-pilots for now, use autopilots when necessary, but don't lean away from co-pilot use cases.
Yeah. AI is not going to steal your job. It's the human that knows how to use AI agents that's going to steal your job.
Correct.
Zach, take us home. What is it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably preaching to the choir on this one, but it's always be learning, right? Like I think everything is changing so fast. Whatever Nick, Alex, and I say, we were going to watch this in a year and go, wow, what a bunch of idiots. They didn't even know it was coming. And I think the ability to go and like learn has been easy. It's so much easier than ever before. You have this tool that will not judge you when you're wrong. You can ask it anything. It's not always right, so definitely go validate. But you know, the fact that you can continue to just build and keep exploring and learn subjects that you've never been able to explore before, go do that, because I think what people don't realize are businesses today or the future businesses of tomorrow. Like you're going to find the ability to create $1 million companies where you can run them yourself because there are 100,000 people in the globe that just believe in that one thing that you're doing. So yeah, just learn.
I'm so excited for us to all build our $1 million companies, and then we're all going to catch up in Palm Springs in like 30 years for Thanksgiving, and we're going to rewatch this recording all together with some popcorn and be like, whoa, they had no idea what was coming. I love that. Well, gang, let's get a demo. Let's actually just look at an AI agent in practice. We've got Rory here from HubSpot who's joining here live. And basically we wanted to give you all just like a peek behind, you know, like the screen share and understand like, how do we just set up an agent? What are the different types? And we're going to use HubSpot as an example here because we've got the principal account executive at HubSpot. So please give a huge round of applause and fire emoji for Rory to just understand what we're talking about here. Rory, take away.
Paz, thank you so much. Great chat so far. I'm learning a lot already too. I'm sure you guys are as well. But yeah, happy to have a quick chat around AI agents from a HubSpot perspective. So how we typically would see a HubSpot AI agent, they're essentially specialized AI workers that just automate part of your sales, marketing, service, and operations. So your team spends less time on manual tasks and more time on high value work. Kind of basically, I think what Alex mentioned earlier today, you're not necessarily trying to like replace someone each time. It's more so empowering them to be able to do more and be more productive. So at HubSpot, there's kind of like 3 main AI agents at the moment. And similar to like what's been said already, it's constantly evolving. There's more agents coming. There's a marketplace on HubSpot that you can go into to see other agents, or you can even build out agents yourself specific. But today I'll just focus on this 3, and then I'll jump into a customer agent so you can see how easy it is to actually build one within HubSpot. So just focusing on the customer agent first. So you can think of the customer agent in two core ways. And from a customer service perspective, it resolves repetitive questions, reads and updates CRM data, and it handles simple operational tasks without needing human intervention. And then you can also think of it more from like the sales support as well. So it qualifies prospects, captures essential details, and books meetings so your team never misses an opportunity. So you can see it it's especially valuable, I suppose, when you're a business dealing with high inbound volume and teams feel overwhelmed by tickets or chats. Headcount or budget is potentially limited and hiring more staff isn't an option. You could seek to bring in something like an agent. Or there's an existing knowledge base or strong HubSpot data to draw from. These are actually also great, I've found so far, with businesses that supports multi-regions and needs consistent 24/7 coverage, because the HubSpot agent can come in and qualify prospects to make sure that when someone lands on your website, even if it's outside of working hours, they're having a good experience or they're leaving with at least some sort of value. And moving on to the prospecting agent there. The prospecting agent essentially turns your CRM into an intelligent prospecting agent. And so it acts like a smart virtual SDR that can automatically personalize outreach and handle the heavy lifting of research. And so this is clearly powered by AI. It researches target accounts and it can engage prospects directly inside HubSpot and help your team build pipeline much faster. So we've actually even started using this within HubSpot, and it's got me quite a few number of leads that I'm very pleased that I probably wouldn't have spotted if it wasn't for the prospecting agent working in the background. So this, I suppose, resonates the most with sales teams who are spending hours on manual research instead of connecting with prospects, companies who aren't taking the time to understand intent signals before reaching out, and maybe some teams still relying on that, I suppose, spray and pray sort of outreach method that produces typically like low conversions. And then finally, I'll just touch on the data agent summary. And again, data agent works in two core ways. So data cleanup and enrichment. So it fixes messy data, enriches missing fields, removes duplicates, and keeps CRM records accurate without the manual work of having to constantly going in and update your CRM. And then also from an operational reliability perspective, it maintains a clean data foundation so the sales, marketing, and service team can trust reporting, segmentation, and automation too. So if you're a person who is uploading large CSV files consistently, or it's really important that your data remains up to date and clear, the data agent could be something worth looking into as well. But I'll just quickly jump into the customer agent here, just to give you a bit of an example. So if you are in HubSpot, and if it's something you want to do in the future, definitely reach out. We'll send our details after, but you would just navigate down here on the left-hand side to the service side. You would click on customer agent, and this is what would populate here. So each portal would have access to one customer agent here. So how you manage it is you input it with the data that you want it to be, I suppose, well-versed in. So just for the purposes of today, I embedded some knowledge resources here. I just literally, for the Community Collective, obviously just grabbed the URL and then imported the URL here, just from like an add content. And it doesn't have to always be the URL. You can add whatever piece of content you like. It literally took like 3 minutes to sync against it. And it doesn't have to be the URL. You can import as much information as you like. The more data it has, the better it can pull information from. So that's to build the knowledge resources. Then there's actions and handoffs. So like we've touched on earlier, in certain situations, you probably want the AI agent to handle as much of the conversation as possible. But in other situations, you want to get it handed over to a human as quick as possible. And this is where you can determine that. So if the customer agent sees something around pricing or something like join the team, you might want to hand that straight over to someone on the team or a human to handle. So I'll just kind of like show you what that actually looks like from like a testing perspective. So as I said, like this is in regards to the Community Collective. My agent name is Rory here. So let me just pretend I'm someone who landed on the Community Collective website and was just curious to see like what they do. So
love that we're building an agent for the Community Collective right now. Do we get?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is also called Rory.
Yeah. Very creative with my name choice there, right? So again, just this pulls information straight from the website. You can see that it's even like has the link of the sources there. Even just to do one more question, like what services do they offer? And you saw how quickly I was able to build this. So if you're a business whose your sales team can't handle all the amount of inquiries they're getting each day, like this is how quickly you could set something up. And pull this straight from the website as well. And then if you're a customer on the website and you're like, right, this is really interesting, I think I'm a great fit for this, like let's maybe join the team, or you're interested. So you can just be like, I am interested in joining the team. And hopefully now it will pass you over to a human. Yeah, let me get you in touch with one of our team. Please wait a moment. So then, and again, you can create different workflows or triggers or what have you. So that's just a very quick example that we put together. But I hope that kind of showcased how easy it is to set up agents in HubSpot. And yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. And I've shared some slides as well with Paz to follow up that kind of touches on good fits for the different types of agents as well.
Oh my God, I love it. Fire emoji, please, for Rory. Literally just built an agent. We've got a vote here that's called Zaz, Zap. Oh, which is Paz backwards. Maybe we've got an AI agent called Zap or Ollie, Claire. We've got some votes for this new agent. Rory, I look very forward to putting this agent on the Community Collective website. Obviously, everyone's experience is landing on the website and wanting to, join, which is very cool. And Rory, it's so interesting to see how fast that is, right? And kind of starting with existing tech stack, uploading some sources, and you've got something that can go. Do you just hit go live, and then that's live on a website in HubSpot? Is that like the last step?
Yeah. Well, if it's built on a HubSpot website, like it would literally goes direct. You might need an integration if it's going onto something else. But it can literally be that quick. But like similar to what the rest of the panel said earlier, like you don't need to boil the ocean. You can start small, just have it set up some basic things. And then I didn't show you on that, but you can also test the performance as well and analyze it and get reporting, so you can iterate based on how it's doing, how the business is growing. But yeah, there's a lot you can do. So that was definitely just a little drop in the ocean.
Very cool. I look forward to launching this agent with you, Rory, very soon. And everyone here, I hope you got a bit of an idea of just how easy it can be to set up AI agents in existing tech stacks. Obviously, HubSpot is an example there. And, we really want to now go into questions. Anything that still is left unsaid that we haven't gotten to. I know that we already have 150 questions pre-submitted. I'm going to ask them all at Zach in 1 minute for rapid fire question round. But before we do that, we're going to ask if anyone wants to ask a question live. Obviously, we prioritize anyone who wants to jump in the queue. I've got book gifts to give away to anyone who jumps into the queue and click I have a question. So we're all just going to take 30 seconds now. And I would like you all to post one question in the chat, or please jump in the queue and we will come to you. Wow, I'm a poet. Didn't even know it. Who is ready for some questions?
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold'em. So lay your cards down, 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 down. So park your Lexus and throw your keys up. Stick around, round, 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 round. Stick around. And I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too. It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor now. Woo! There's a tornado in my city, at the basement. That shit ain't pretty.
All right, enough Beyonce, the queen she is. We are here to chat with our fabulous panelists who are back again after our halftime show. And we've got heaps of questions here lining up, but we've got one question that someone shared at the very start in the chat that we haven't answered yet, which is, how do we communicate the business case of building AI agents within your team? So Nick, I'll throw this one over to you around communicating. How do we go to our boss and say, I want to use an agent, what now?
Yeah, definitely. I think treat it as a regular project, right? So coming up with a project initiation document. So what is it exactly that you're going to be solving? What are the user stories that you're going to need to walk through? and what's your definition of success, right? And then think about like your risk and incident register as well. So like whenever we're building these agents locally, right, like we're trying to niche down what it is that we're trying to build, but then it still goes through an entire business use case process. This is obviously like the enterprise level and the big end of town, but it still sort of scales back down as well. So if you're doing this inside of your startup, like at what costs are you prepared to expend, and like what answers should you be able to generate from that? What exactly are you trying to automate here? I think really just treating it as a specific project rather than going, hey, I'm just going to chuck an agent out there, is going to help narrow down your vision a lot. And then again, just treat it like you would any other investment decision. How much are you putting in? What are you hoping to get out? Are there any metrics that you want to go ahead and track? Like, are we going to try to aim for, 80 to 90% first call resolution so we can divert away from from going directly to a human so they can spend time on value add activities? So I think that really sort of helps narrow it down, like have a clear vision and treat it like any other project.
Yeah. And then obviously it's an experiment, right? It's like, all right, we've got a month. Let's test it. We've got those metrics. We've got a briefing paper template as well for anyone who needs a Google Doc ready to roll. So you can download that for free as well. But I love that, Nick, because it's very clear. You've got to start out with what is success, what's the problem or challenge we're solving, and what's the kind of vision that we hope to seek. Very cool. Well, let's move into some of our live. Juan, got a fellow CC in here ready to ask a question. So Juan, feel free to ask your question in one sentence, and then please ask either Alex, Zach, or Nick. Pick who you would like to respond, and then we will kick off our Q&A. So Juan, what is your question? Let's have a look. Juan's on mute. Here we go. Juan is, still on mute. Can you click unmute, Juan? You got this? Let's have a look. Let me unmute you. There we go. Oh, it's not working. Oh, there it is. There you go, Juan. Yep.
Find my photo.
Hey, no worries. Juan, what's your question?
I work for a non-for-profit that looks after the environment, and I use AI often, but I often get questions about the impact on the environment and how to mitigate that impact. I see the usefulness of it, but I wonder if you have any considerations in your processes or how to mitigate these, as well as the ethics, policies, and how to transfer this information into the users or the clients.
I love that, Juan. Who would you like to answer first, Alex, Zach, or Nick? Just pick anyone.
Maybe Zach.
Zach. All right, the chosen one. And Zach's on mute. We can't hear Zach either. Oh, where's the agents now? There you go. Fire away.
You know what's great, Paz? This was the same question I got last time. So it's actually, I'm ready for it, Juan.
Nice.
I don't have the best answer for you, which is the same answer I gave last time, because we're in such a new space and it's moving so quick, and we don't even know what the impact is. Like we don't, and I live in a country that is starting to eliminate even the measurement of those impacts. So I can't even tell you what things are going to look like in the future. And I would say, just to kind of give you the high level of what I would do as an individual, right? Like obviously use AI when it makes sense, but it is still a tool that is, like anything else in your life, going to cause some impact on the environment. Everything does. Everything that you interact with in your entire world, whether it was created, whether it was something you turned on, whether you exhibited energy, it is some impact on the environment. So take that into consideration, that it is not anything different than other tools and inventions we've created in the past. But at the same time, push your governments, push the large hyperscalers to give us that information as small businesses, so we can better tell you, our customers, what the impact is on the business. And we will always try to do our best to get things down where possible. But without those numbers, I will say we are kind of flying blind, and it is very difficult to give you those exact answers.
Oh, well, Nick's got something to contribute for this. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so I think the really interesting one is like a lot of the carbon impact for large language models is becoming sunk cost, because the majority of the expenditure or the carbon impact is from the training of the models, right? So like once it's that's where they're using like thousands of GPUs and massive server farms to get to that to get to those models. The inference actually, and when I say inference, like actually generating stuff and writing prompts and getting answers, that doesn't use up as much energy as you think. And like I was in Wellington last week presenting with one of our customers, and they actually visualize this in the best way I've ever seen possible. They had a single PowerPoint slide and they had a triangle, right? Every single triangle represented 1 ton of carbon produced or carbon emissions produced from a particular thing. On that diagram, 5 of the triangles were highlighted orange, and that was from their chatbot that they'd implemented across all of their students for an entire year, right? So 5 tons of emissions from their LLM usage. Every single other little triangle, so roughly 18,400 of them, was blue. Do you know what those blue triangles represented?
Tell us.
It was transport. So it was literally researchers flying to and from conferences. So I think it's really important to put it in perspective, right? This LLM, which is servicing tens of thousands of users, is using 5 tons. And then we've got like maybe 100 odd researchers traveling back and forth on a plane. So I think it helps. Obviously, you want to reduce emissions as much as possible, but the majority, just so you know, is expended when the models are trained, not necessarily when we go and use them. That being said, smaller models, faster models are going to help drop costs and drop the carbon emissions as well.
Amazing. Thank you, Nick. Juan, you happy with your answers there?
Yeah, beautiful.
Phenomenal. Well, we've got Sean here next, who's ready to ask a question live. Sean, feel free to unmute, share your 1-sentence question and who you'd like to answer.
Well, thanks, everyone. Sorry, there's a bit of background noise. I am currently traveling for some training. So in the middle of the cafe for that. Really appreciate all the sharing. But one thing I want to just clarify, just so I understand, is when talking about agents, it looks like there's a couple of triggers that you can do, right? I play with Relevance AI, so this is for you, Alex, particularly. But there is the chatbot that we saw played out on HubSpot just then as the demo. That's essentially someone triggering it themselves by clicking enter from a chat. But then from your screenshot, it looks like, hey, the trigger is something recurring, something that you can do day to day without a human intervention at the first point to trigger. So I'm just trying to understand, when people talk about AI agents in this case, it really is just connected to the tools, but it means that everyone can, I guess the trigger can be either automated, really automated by time, or automated by someone else asking the question in the first place. Is that right?
That's correct. So we, in our platform, we have the ability to run agents on a recurring schedule. As you said, that's one of my agents, or a couple of my agents are running on recurring schedules. One of the things that we really love is we have Slack triggers. So it means that you can tag Relevance AI from your Slack channels and say, hey, this agent, can you do this for me? And the agent will go off, do these things, come back and be like, okay, cool, I did this, I researched this, I completed this task, what else do you need? So you've got stuff like that. We have treated 200 plus integrations. So that means you can use HubSpot, Notion, and all these different things that have there that then trigger an agent. And go off. You can even trigger multi-agent systems. Another thing that is really amazing that we have is that we have Relevance Chat, which is our new, basically our chat product, which you can trigger agents from there. Say, I want this agent to do this, and then I want it to then feed that info to this agent, and then I want it to create slides based on what you learned. Trigger agents.
Oh, is that helpful, Sean? Yeah, amazing. Big thumbs up from Sean. Fabulous answer, Alex. I love that. Well, we only have 1 minute left, and so we're going to do rapid fire round for basically the last question here that we have, which is, let's have, where did it go? There's so many in the chat. Everyone's going wild. All right, here we go. Okay, nice. If we were to learn one new thing about AI agents tomorrow, where should we go to basically deepen our learning? If we were to learn one new thing, where do we go tomorrow to deepen our learning? Final question, Nick, then Alex.
I'm going to say my YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to, bit of a plug there. If you just search my name, you'll find it on Google.
Oh, I love that. We'll put the link in the chat for sure. We'll all go watch YouTube. Love that. Alex?
Yeah, follow on the Relevance AI community that I help lead. Go there. Come during the discussion. There's lots of agents that you can find there. You can even just get onto the Relevance AI platform. It's free to start, and you can download a free agent from the marketplace, run it, and see how it goes.
Yes, we're all going to be building AI agents. I love it, Zach. Where do we go for more learning?
Oh, I'm going to do the cop-out answer. You guys are all solving different problems. Every company is building different agents. Go find the agents that are right for you. So go figure out that problem first and then learn from that business. So my cop-out.
I love it. Not a cop-out. That was fantastic. Everyone, thank you so much for joining our AI agents conversation with Nick, Alex, Zach, and Rory. Please, huge fire emoji. Yeah, massive gratitude. I feel like I've learned we built an AI agent for the Community Collective in this session, so it's very useful for me here, but we've learned everything from ethics, boundaries, how do we define the business case, what is an AI agent? We're looking at large language models plus tools to make decisions and basically help us in our lives. There's a huge opportunity here, everyone, and I hope today has just been one of the first steps or many steps in your journey wherever you're at and just learning, because as Zach said, we are learners for life. So everyone, we get to now wrap today's session. I know there's 1,000 other questions in the chat. Should we run another one of these sessions? Like, post a yes. Should we run another one of these sessions on mastering AI agents, bring some more people back? Maybe HubSpot wants to come back next year with the Community Collective. Post a yes in the chat. If we get enough people, maybe we'll run another session. Rory gave us a double thumb. All right. I'll chat to Gwen. We'll see what we do, because obviously there's so much more. Pretty please. I love it. There's so much more that we could have touched on, right? And obviously this recording will be live afterwards, and I know you're all going to watch it again and get your agents to summarize the transcript and give you a high-level summary so you can deepen that. But basically we get to now wrap up as our final element, and we have a ritual here where we ask you, what is your biggest takeaway from today? We're going to take 60 seconds. I want all of the panelists to share their biggest takeaway. I want all of the audience to share your biggest takeaway so we can all collectively relearn what we just learned. We're going to take 60 seconds, share your biggest takeaway in the chat. Bonus points if you share the group photo and post on LinkedIn your biggest takeaway and tag HubSpot and the Community Collective. But we'll take 60 seconds now. Tell me what you learned.
They say the holy water's watered down, and this town's lost its faith. Our colors will fade eventually, so if our time is running out, day after day we'll make the mundane a masterpiece. Oh my, oh my. I take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down till we're dead and buried on the edge of your knife, staying drunk on your vibe. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so wild.
Wow, there's so much learning that happened here. Wow, thank you all so much for sharing your fabulous takeaways. I really, really appreciate it. And of course, I really appreciate HubSpot being here as our partner who helped curate this event. Gwen and I have been brainstorming about this event, and I'd love to actually just introduce Gwen, who's from HubSpot, and actually just have her explain a little bit more about what is the HubSpot AI tech stack that we've got here. So Gwen, please take us away.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Paz. Oh my God, I love the photo over here. So thank you so much for this energizing webinar. And also just want to shout out to all the panelists as well for providing such good insights. I'm learning a lot today already, and I hope HubSpot has brought great insights to all of you here as well. So I also take some time to pick out some resources that we actually provide free online for all of you as well. If you're keen to learn more about AI agent, we have a playbook just to help you get started on how do you start to implement AI agents, how do you apply that to your work and all. The first thing is a playbook all about AI agent, and it's free for all of you to actually have a good read on. So I wanted to call out on some of these resources here. And also, of course, we have put together this amazing AI tech stack toolkit that we just launched 1 week ago. So fresh out of oven and sharing with all of you here. And lastly, just a very, very huge shout out to Community Collective, Pez and Ines, for being such incredible partners in putting this together. I think this kind of collaboration is what the ecosystem needs. Bring out all the community builders, operators, founders together, sharing what is really working and not just the hype. So on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for spending your time with us today and for your questions and for being part of this community. Thank you so much. And back to you, Pez. Yeah.
Yay. I know Gwen and I we were like, oh, let's like get some cool discounts from Claude. Let's chat to Lovable. So we've negotiated all free plans of their paid plans for you to just test it out for a month and have a look there. So thank you so much, Gwen. I really appreciate it. And gang, if you need to keep learning, we've got 3 final events at the Community Collective, which you can register via the link in the chat. We've got some very cool speakers coming in across Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, online again for our last gatherings if you want to just keep learning as well. But that brings us to the end of today. So everyone, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for everyone. Yes, hallelujah emojis. We're going to wrap up, and please have the most amazing day. Go chat to Claude, AI agents, and happy building. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Work it, make it, do it, make sense. Harder, better, faster, stronger. More than power, never. Ever after work is over. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. Work it never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Work is never over. Work it, make it, do it, make sense. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. Work it never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever. Work is never over. Work it harder, do it faster.